Okay. So right now also is the lab of our SmartThings security as a next lab because you already suppose like I assume you're able to like set up your Raspberry Pi and also able to connect to your like using how to connect to your GPIO and test with your like maybe LED or anything sensor. That's what I'm expecting. If you are not able to do that, then you can take your time because I will give you some time to like to prepare on your Raspberry Pi. If you're able to do that, then we will move on. Because like I need to give you a like kind of rough picture because when we work on the like IoT smart things, so Raspberry Pi, if you remember, like as a node, it would be more like I would say as a node or a gateway that we save our data. Temporary, like how can we store the data information, and then how can we send it, submit to the server? Okay, cloud server. So in our project we simulate. So we kind of cover several things. Um, I will break down this lab into I will repeat one more time and then just like tell you in this lab, I just asking you you kind of like prerequisite like you should able to install and then be ready all those applications. Mainly in our previous lab, you should be ready to get your Raspberry Pi. And then later, how can we set up what we call a RESTful like API? And also how can we save the data like to NoSQL? Okay. We cannot like discuss again like comparing okay why we're using the NoSQL in our lab we were using MongoDB. If you're familiar with MongoDB, then that's good. If you have no idea, then I will give also actually I will prepare later in the lab load. I will break down all this part and then have a lecture. So in the lab, so telling you, okay, how can we set up server and then how can we set up the MongoDB. So so don't worry about that. We will have a separate lab to teach one by one. Okay. But today's lab is like I just like make sure you are already installed all the application. So since we do it online, so we can save the time because in the lab, in the lecture, so I will help you to install it. So right now, let's move on. So the whole picture. So okay, once we have the RESTful API, and then we will interact with the Raspberry Pi, and then once we like process data, store it, and then we store it in the NoSQL database. So that's what we're using in MongoDB. If you want to use another NoSQL, you are welcome. Okay, so it's not forced, but I will tell you mainly our example. What we're using would be stay on the MongoDB. Okay, and the program language, of course, you should be ready. Your Raspberry Pi, I assume you're okay. And then I will tell you, you need to install the Node.js. So we are using Node.js and then work with the Express.js. So it's a web framework. And then you need to install the MongoDB. If we are testing, because I'm not so sure how many of you like still have an EC2 free account, you say, okay, you don't want to play it, you're welcome. You can set up your VM or you can for testing. Actually for smarting, we will like most of things store it on the cloud. But if you don't want to like for simulation, you can use your own computer. That means you can start your server on your own laptop and then like serve the host and to receive the data and save to your local desktop. So it's okay. So that's why I'm not spend too much time to say to teach you how to set up the server. So you can choose if you need help. I can guide you how to set up like maybe locally. But at least you can install it on your local desktop like MongoDB Express. And also you can set up the Postman for testing API, or you can use include CRUL. So to test like get post data. And for the following week, like because for our course setup is the basic. So first part is like I try to make sure you're able to set up all the environment, everything we need. Then we'll move on to how about like course handle like course side requests and then some security practice. I'll let you know but in the lecture, but didn't have any details. And I do have the sample code. So I will share it, but you're not required to do it. So it will be later. The next assignment, how can you increase the security for this one? Okay, but I need to make sure of you're able to set it up. Okay. So first, I quickly let you know, okay, I will talk about how to set up the virtual client. Suppose you already complete, so quickly jump over it. And then the next one will be, we need to install the Node.js and MongoDB. So here's the main focus for today's video. Okay, I just tell you, so pretty short. And then I will cover 3 and 4 a little bit. So this one, it just let you know, have some picture. Okay, if you say, okay, I can do it easily, quickly, I know how to do it, then feel free to do it. You don't have to wait for my lecture. Okay. So once you're completed, you're all good. Then I will always encourage you to do more. Okay. Or we can make more challenge. Okay. So VPN, so all these make sure you're able to connect to the internet and then able to SSH. And then the previous exercise, I'm asking you how to set up with the POS certificate. I think so most of you already submitted, so you're good. And next, I always remember to get the using the update and upgrade to make sure you have the latest package, and also install the build essential and the curve. Okay, CURL. And sometimes if you need to git code, sometimes I recommend maybe the source code. You can copy it, and then maybe if you want to set a project, it's a good idea to install the Git on your Raspberry Pi. So depends on, but it will be later. So you can install it right now, so it'd be more convenient. So once you make sure you are able to connect it with your certificate, so I recommend, and then check all your information. And then the next will be focus on will be the Node.js. Okay. This one is the on your Linux, so you can set up your VM, and or let's say if you want to work on your VM, then you can install the Ubuntu and then host it as a server. So you can install create a VM message, or you can host it on your computer. To install Node.js, we have several methods. So first, of course, we go to the Node.js official website and download it. For it would detect if you're using a Mac OS, then you can use the NVM version and then git and then install. And because I'm using the NVM, so NVM I like to because I use it for my project, and then I keep switching the Node version. So you can follow the steps right here. Once you search the git NVM, so right here installing, and we just try to download the package. And this one is I set up the environment in case if you cannot using the NVM, then you can connect it. And this one is change your batch file, so it depends on which terminal you're using, which install script. So you can change the source batch or ZSH shell. And after you're able to set everything, and we have the NVM version right here. Okay, so it shows the NVM version. So if you're able to get the NVM version, that means you're all good. That means you get this one is called the Node version manager. So itself is not the Node without the Node.js. And what you need to do after you complete the installation, you can use the by default NVM install node, or if sometimes I want to check using LS remote. So this one will list all the current node version. Okay, so it will list the latest one. Let's say if you want to use the stable one, always I recommend for the LTS. It's called the long-term support. So most of the development, they will work on the called the long-term support. Of course, if you want to get the latest, let's say right now I want to install the latest one, so I can use the NVM install. So based on the list, maybe right now we have the 23.7.0. So I would install this one. Okay, so you can choose either one of the method. Okay, and after you list it, so you can see if I want to use it and then use node, or like I can define called the alias was the name. So I can use it, let's say MVM, and then use node. So right now I switch it like to the 23.7. That's why I'm using the node currently. Okay, or you can like follow a step on the official website. So suppose once you install the MVM, and also it comes with the node package, so npm version, okay, and then the node version, okay. So after you execute this to command, you get a version number. That means you're correctly installed. npm always come with the node, but if you didn't install it, you can also install the npm, so it will pop up. So you will able to receive all this information, and you can choose the version latest one, 23.7, or if you're using Windows, you can choose Windows and then FN, and or like another version. And maybe you're not installing like YA or PNPM or anyway. Okay, so that's one way you can choose, or you can switch the system. Maybe this one's for ARM. If you're working on the 64, maybe slightly not the same. Okay, so you can download and install it on your desktop. And that's the node we are going to use. Okay, and then if the next part will be if you're able to get the node version npm, so you are kind of like half complete what we need to do in this moment. And then next one will be the MongoDB. Okay, so you can on the Linux system, you can install the MongoDB, or if you need to install it on your computer, laptop, then you can MongoDB install. So I can like search it and committee. Most of the time we download committee version, because like for different computer, then we like, let's say I will install on my computer, and basically for the Xcode, if I need to like prerequisite, I need to get the Xcode select install, and I can use the blue to download it. So blue tab, because I will already install my MongoDB, and then you can just execute install MongoDB community version. Right now it's at 8.0 version, and you're able to run it. And but right now I probably not yet started, but after you're able to start your MongoDB, and then you can start the Mongo server, and then also the Mongo SH, the shell. If once we start the server, but right now I'm not yet start the server. So once you download it, and then you can see the MongoDB compress, and you can execute it and run it. Okay. Once you get the your MongoDB version, and then the Mongo shell version, then that means you're all good. Okay. And everything will work on this. Okay. Later we will create I will prepare a lecture showing how can we use the MongoDB, but in this moment we are not using it. Okay, so I'll just show you. Okay, you need to install the MongoDB. So you the MongoDB compress right here. So I have different the local host, and here's the other files. Okay, my documents. So later, if you're ready, then we can create a new document. It's called maybe you can use the subject title CSCI for 65 to save it. Okay, okay, I have a compressor. Okay, let me update my version. So I check it. And if you're able to complete these two, of course, on the Linux system, later, because I in the lab, because we have so many things to do, so I kind of skip the Linux system. So if you're working on the Linux system, so mainly we will use an apt and then systemctl to start the service and enable the service. So it will able to restart even maybe after the system reboot, like the OS reboot. Okay. So far, if we are able to like install the MongoDB, just like using the status to check the MongoDB is a command line we can use. So on a Linux system. So of course, like later I will demonstrate using the VM, but this one I will let you to show you on your desktop first. Later, on the next step, I will show you how to install MongoDB execute. Sometime I can simulate it. Okay, so far, if you are able to follow this step, then you can just like do something, let's say have a new directory for your project, and then we can create an npm project. So maybe you can use the class and then cd, okay, this directory. We can start with the npm initialize, and then by default, yes, that means like everything the name by default. You don't pass the parameter, yes, then you can type it, okay, what's the name and then version. You can define who's the author or like any information. Let's clean it. Okay, so let me change the directory to this our week 4. Okay, so you will see of course like we will start with making a directory, so mk, and I will say okay week 4 lab like this. Okay, so I am just my name, and then I just change it to the lab, and I start with the npm initialize. By default, I just pass it, so I'm not having any information. So if you didn't pass the dash y, then you need to type that what's the name, version, what's the entry point index. So we'll stay like this. And right here you will see I already create, and right here what we need to install is the express. Okay, so express, so we can we're using the npm to install the express mongoose and then the body phaser. I just copy it, and here will be the package we need to use. Because this one I want to save it because for development, so I will just pass it save. Okay, so when I install it or the package, and then right here, so after initially you will see the package.json, so it will tell all the definition. And right here, after I install the mongoose and also the express, in the example right here, when we're hosting the API server, so we are going to using express. Okay, because when I teach web programming, I show him using Happy.js, and I just like switching because Express is popular, and then in the community lots of support. So that's why in web programming, and then I just choose another one like pretty common using. It's called the Happy.js. And then if you're interested in Express.js, then I wish like you can like look into it. But for the smart things, because we focus on more on the like IoT stuff, then I just like showing all the example on Express, so it can save us some time. So here's called the dependency. Okay, so after you install all the dependency, then that's how it looks like. Of course, right now we don't have the index.js. So right now kind of like we have nothing in this moment, and I will upload. So by default, this one will be the default I with the security key, but in this moment I'm not using it. And the next assignment, like kind of like we need to do is like create our own index.js, because in this lab I'm not requires you like to copy everything. It's more give you the time install the like Node.js, and then how to create the package, and then install the MongoDB, make sure it's running, and quickly cover. So if once we complete the index, so we can create the API server, and then we will like ensure that MongoDB is running. Can be on Raspberry. We are not saving on Raspberry Pi, but locally. So either way is okay. You can save it locally or on your desktop, so you can choose. But this one I put it on Raspberry Pi. If you want to save your data on laptop, then laptop is better for simulation. And then later when we need to connect it, we can test it using the CURL or using the Postman. So you recommend to download the application Postman. So showing the Postman API platform. So you can also install the Postman right here, and choose, because it already detects it's using Mac system, so you can just choose yours. Or if you're using Windows, you can get a web version too, so you can try the web. So you need to create an account, but I do have it, and sometimes I'm just using the command line to test it, so it's all good. So So far, I will stop by right here. That's the lab you need to like before I move on. I just want to make sure you already install all the necessary package. So let me just like recap one more time. So right here, just like be ready. So ready your Raspberry Pi, and then you need to install the Node.js, MongoDB, and then I quickly demonstrate how can we create a new project. So you should able to like reach this step. And if I don't put right here, I will like show you the package JSON. So I put it as a save. That means we have the code dependence. So it will save the version. Which version are we using? Okay. Of course, we do have a unit test, but it will be later, like almost the last of the semester. Okay. And so far you need to, and then welcome to get the Postman. So you can install it. And that's it. And that's it for today's lab. So let me know, give me an email if you have a difficulty question to install all these things. If you're able to set up all this, then for the next step, I will move on. Okay, to show you how to, like we start with the really basic, like check saving when, like we start the first next assignment. After you set up will be kind of easy, will be like make a screenshot like you already install everything and start with like, can you send the data to your server? Let's say if you turn on the light, turn off the light using a web or like this, or if you have other sensor, can you like sending the data? Okay, and that's it for this lab, and I will continues the rest of the lab later, just to make sure all you're able to set all the necessary. So far we start by the dependence, this page. Okay, what will be your time? Thank you.